Today we'll be talking about XPaths. So in online there are many tools wherein you can use them and you can make use of those tools to write the XPath. Well and good. But assume that these tools tend to write some wrong XPath, or few of the times they may give some XPaths that keep on changing. Okay, so in that case, you need to understand how to write a solid XPath. So for that reason, it is always recommended as a tester. You need to know how the XPath is written and what are the different ways in which you can write an XPath. So having said that, I was just giving an example, right? So how to write, and we have just used a common and basic syntax to write an XPath. So today we'll understand deeper. We'll use what are the different options in which with which we can write an XPath. Okay, so first thing. Okay, XPath. Okay, assume that we discussed about XPath, right? So basically, there are two types of XPaths. Okay, one is absolute XPath and relative XPath. Okay, absolute XPath and the relative XPath. I'm preparing notes for this. Okay, you guys don't need to by heart anything. I'll be sharing all the notes with you people. Nothing much to worry. All that you need to know is how to use those. Okay, so absolute XPath. Okay, what is the difference between absolute XPath and a relative XPath? So this thing is, it will start with a single slash. Okay, whereas this one starts with double forward slash. Okay, that's what we did, right? So the syntax for this was something like this, right? Double slash. So whereas for absolute XPath, it is single slash. Okay, it will start from root node. I'll tell you what is a root node. Okay, okay, it will start from the current node. That's the difference, main difference. Okay, and it tends to change most of the times. Okay, and mostly fixed and mostly fixed. That should be fine. Okay, so now let us see definitions. There are a lot of definitions in online. You can just go and read it, but you need to understand, right? So now let me take an example and let us make you understand. And let us take for example, if you want to know some person or some person, so starting from the root node, in the sense it is like knowing the father of that person, father of that person, father of that person. It's like you are knowing the total history. Like for example, if you are going back 20 generations, assume that there may be a chance that if you are writing something like that, I'm just telling. So there was some guy called Rahman, and there was something called uh, Sheikh, and there was something called guy, this thing, this thing, this thing, and after that you are telling that this is Zakir. So if I am making assume that there are 10 more names here, 10 more names here, you are traversing. Okay, there was X, and then from Y, then from Y, like that, like that, like that. So if you are coming like that, and if you are trying to find this guy, then this is difficult for you. So absolute XPath will start from the root node. Let me take an example, you will understand it. Say for example, okay, I haven't submitted this. Okay, just a moment, guys. Excuse me, sorry for that. So what I was telling is we will understand the absolute XPath. So let me go here, and for example, if I want to find the XPath for this, check out here. Okay, this is a button on which I want to find the XPath. I'm just right clicking on that and clicking on inspect. So now I was telling you, right, there are two ways in which you can find the XPath for this. So absolute XPath, how it will start, right? It will start from the root node. So first, if you want to write the absolute XPath for HTML tag, right? First, you need to write HTML. Under that HTML, there is a tag called head. Under tag called head, there is something called body. and under that there is something called no script. Slowly you need to cover each and every tab. Then you will be writing something like dev, spam, div, again div, then comes your button. So if I were to write that, right, how it will start, right? It will start from HTML head body, HTML head body, because it will traverse from each and every tag. That's what I have written, right? It will start from the root node and the starting point of this web page. So this is the starting point. So this is the all you are seeing on your screen is your HTML document, right? So this is the code for that. So you need to traverse through each and everything. Say for example, you need to traverse through div, again span, then again div, then again like this. So you'll traverse to many tags, and at the end you will come to know that okay, here I am, this is nothing but my button. So now, hey Zakir, this is also one XPath, right? You can still use it, yes. But what will happen is, I have just written few times here, right? So there will be some n number of tags here in real time, right? So if anything changes, for example, a developer at later point of time, he is coming and telling, hey, let me add one more but a text box here. Then, so this XPath will fail. For example, he is adding another div div tag here. Then previously there was no div tag, now there is a div tag. So your XPath will fail because the total path is getting changed. So for that reason, it tends to change most of the times. That's what the reason I have written. So we will not be using absolute XPath. So day one itself, I didn't spoke about that because reason being you may get confused. So for that reason, we will not be using absolute XPath. So there is also a way you can write an XPath using absolute XPath, but we will not use it. So if you could see, it is starting with single slash and it will start from the root node. So that's the reason I have written it is starting from the root node. Now let us try to understand this guy. He's really interesting, right? So relative XPath will start from the double forward slash. That's what I have written. Double forward slash. And it will start from the current node. Current node in the sense, you see here, you need to traverse through each and every node. But this absolute XPath, you can go and directly start from the current node. So the current node here for this button is, one second, it is button, right? So I am starting from this. Okay, button, very good. Next thing is I can use this class, it's a drop down button, right? Mm, at the rate of, okay, see, I am getting only single digit. Now if I write this XPath, okay, assume that I have written relative XPath for button. So there are two ways in which I can write the XPath. One is by this way and the other one is by this way. But in this case, if some extra element is guiding on the web page, say for example, if there is no extra page, what will happen? Obviously, few tags will come here. So for example, what that's what I was telling. So assume that new tag is coming here. Then the previous XPath is getting changed. But in this case, nothing is getting changed, so it is fixed. So that's the reason we will be using the relative XPath most of the time. So that's the beauty of the relative XPath. So this is the most commonly asked interview question. So for that reason, I have taken at least 10 minutes of time for you to understand this. So if someone is asking what is XPath, obviously tell there are two types of XPaths. One is absolute and relative. Absolute will start from the root node, and it is the syntax for this is it will start from the single forward slash, and it is changing most of the name. For example, if any minor changes happening, then the total XPath will change. But whereas in case of the relative XPath, it will start with a double forward slash, and it will start from the current node. So most of the times it is fixed. So for that reason, in most of the cases, we will be using relative XPath. Okay, relative XPath. So that is about the differences between absolute and relative XPath. Hope you have understood it. If yes, just give me a thumbs up. That should be fine. Very good. So you should be in a position to answer in interview. Okay, Vanilla, I hope you got it right. Yesterday we were discussing on that.
Yes, Zakir.
Okay,
Now I completely got it.
very good, very good. Yeah, Shelfie, you unmuted. You have any question for me?
Yeah, now we are using only the
Relative XPath.
relative XPath, right?
Yes, yes.
So absolute XPath we won't use at any time.
At any time we will not use. At any time, never. Okay, good,
Okay.
cool. You got it right.
Yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome. So this is the most commonly asked interview question. So please have an idea. Yeah, Shelfie, you want to say something?
No, Zakir.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you. I see that you unmuted, so that of asking. Now, let us go and try to understand what are the different types of relative expert. There is something called access function. So now we'll be talking only about XPath. Okay, when I say XPath, that is nothing but relative XPath. Okay, absolute XPath, it's just for interview. You need to understand it. Okay, cool. So the main syntax for your what is that? This thing is tag name at the rate of attribute is equals to value. Okay, that's it. You understood this. Okay, so you have written some XPath also, and you are able to do that. Okay, and you are able to do many things. Now let me put you in a situation where hmm, let me take this. Superb, very good. I got it. Thank you. Okay, now if I'm telling you to write XPath for this Java, so what you will do is you will just go, hey, I'm telling you, hey, launch this URL called W3 schools and check whether you are able to see this thing called Java or not and click on that. So what you will do as per your knowledge, so you know, hey, Zakir, you taught us how to do that. It's pretty simple. Let me go here. Let me click on this and let me go to this Java. Okay, cool. So here there is an attribute called A. Okay, there is an attribute called, sorry, tag name called A. So what you guys will do is you will write the tag name, then you will pick any attribute. Okay, Zakir. So if I'm using class attribute, right, there are many attributes with the name ga-nv, ga-nv. All this will get highlighted. So I will not use this. I can use title. So this is unique, right? Title. See, let me tell you what will happen. I think Lokesh was asking this question. Can I use class? What will happen if you use class? Let me do that. Here itself, good thing. Okay. Mm. See, if you are writing an XPath which is using class, many things are getting highlighted. Your XPath is failing. So obviously there should be single unique identifier, right? That's what we told. So let me go here. Okay. Now by seeing the code itself, you need to understand. Okay, there is some. Okay, let me reload this page. Sorry, guys. Mm. So we need to write XPath for Java, but our XPath was getting one thing. So it was highlighting all the six. There are 43 things it is getting highlighted, so that is wrong. So let me go here and let me try to understand what is the mistake I have done. Okay, so here there are many similar things. So this is also having tag name A, and this is having also class as ga-nv, ga-nv. So for that reason, it is listing down all the results. So let me take another attribute. So title. So let me take this attribute. Title is equals to hyphen Java. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, superb. So this is again getting two results. Okay, now I am putting you in a situation where there are no attributes and there are no values. Okay, there are no attributes and no values. If you could see, let me copy the HTML code here. So I am telling you to write an XPath for this thing. London is capital city of the England. So there is a text here. So you need to write an XPath for this. So what it will do is you'll just right click on this, just inspect it, right? So just go and inspect this. So this is what I write. I told you to write the XPath. So what you will do, you have opened this page and you are clicking on this. Okay, Zaki told us to write the XPath for this text, right? This is also web element. So whatever you are seeing a text is also a web element, and assume that I'm telling to write XPath for London. That's it. Okay, I should go and check whether London is there or not, this thing. So now you have highlighted that. Okay, you have highlighted that slowly, but here there is no attribute and there is no key and value pair. Yes or no? So if you go by this thing, you should have your attribute is equals to value, but this guy is not having any attribute at all. He is just having the tag name. He is just having the tag name. Yes or no? He is just having the tag name. In that case, what we need to do is there are something called access functions in XPath, or you can just say functions in XPath. So one of the very important function is text function. Okay, text function. One of the very important thing is text function. So how to use that? Let me write the syntax. It starts with the tag name, but instead of, now that you understood that, one second. Let me do one thing, guys. Instead of writing here, let me create a Word document. Sorry, just give me a moment. This is not i7 processor, so mm, okay. So this is your relative XPath. Okay, and you know the syntax for the relative XPath. It's pretty simple and straightforward. But now we are talking about the access function, and one of the access function is the text function. Okay, text function. How to use that? So the syntax for the text function is, it's very simple. So what you need to do is give the tag name. Okay, let me zoom a bit. Tag name instead of attribute and value, you know that there is no attribute and there is no value. You can make use of the text what is present out there. So here there is some text, right? The same text is present here, so you can identify this element with the text also. That's what I'm telling. So let me write, there is a function called text, like this. So a kind of method, whenever you are writing method, you will use this braces, right? Is equals to single quotation, what is the text value. That's it, guys. Nothing much, nothing that tough. So in that case, how to write an XPath for this? It's pretty simple. So the syntax says that first write the tag name, then use the text function, then give the text value whatever is present here. So let me control F. So here it, what is the tag name here? It is h2, h2. Okay, and what is the function? Text is equals to, what is the value here? London. Okay, okay, cool, super. So it is highlighting London. So that is the beauty of the, what is that? That is the beauty of the text function. Text function. Okay, everyone understood how to use the text function? Just give me a thumbs up, guys. I'll move on to the next thing. Okay, super, very good, cool. So now assume that assume that you are working, somehow you got into automation project and you are working on an application called what is it, Flipkart application. What is that? Flipkart application. So your test case says that you should be able to successfully place an order. So now everyone please unmute yourself and tell me what is the sequence of steps you follow via automation to identify whether the order is placed successfully or not. Think about it for a minute and answer it. Everyone, not text answers. I should answers, oral answers from everyone. Who wants to go first? It's pretty simple, right? Anyone? Hello? Yeah, Shabda,
Yes,
go ahead.
Zakir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Vanilla. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. Uh, First, we need to launch the URL,
Very good.
login into application.
Very good.
Uh, from the search function, we need to search for the product.
Very good.
Then we need to place the order.
Okay. Now, you are a human being. You will understand how to place an order and everything. But for automation, how to confirm whether the order was placed or not?
Yeah.
Hmm. Think about it. Very good. Yeah, Vanilla, go ahead.
Same I used to say, Zakir.
Okay, okay.
That's it.
Very good, very good. See, the reason if you make mistakes, right, I'll tell you. Not a mistake because this is new learning for you, right? Let me tell you. So what you are telling is you are launch the URL, you will enter the username and password, and then you will search for a product. You will make click on buy now button. You know how to write an XPath for buy now. But the main problem here is you need to know whether the order was placed successfully or not. Yes or no? That is creating problem. So performing you launching the URL, searching for items, everything was good. But whether how to check whether the order was placed successfully or not, because what will happen is once you place any order in the Flipkart, you will get a message. Yes or no? Order number. Yes or no? Something
Yes.
placed successfully. Okay, on the UI it will show something like order ID placed successfully. Yes or no? If the order is placed successfully, this is the message you will see on the screen. Yes or no? Okay.
Exact.
Now think in this way. That's the reason why I was talking about this. Whenever you are placing an order, you will see something message like this, right? Here you are seeing London is capital city of England. Similarly, you will see a text message called order ID placed successfully. Yes or no? You are getting me?
Yes, Zakir.
Okay, so you can check whether you are able to see this message or not. If you are able to see, well and good, your test case is passed. Okay, now if you're not seeing the order ID, okay, if you're not seeing the order ID, that means it failed, right? Yes or no? Instead of that, system will throw an order not placed successfully, something like that. It will throw display something message like this. Okay. Okay, cool, right? Clear till here. So with this, you can easily make sure whether your order was placed successfully or not. So now, assume that this you understood. Okay, Zakir, you're telling that every time you are placing an order, this is the message you are showing. So you told me how to write a text function, right? I'll write that. So very simple, man. Tag name. I can make use of text function because this is a text that is displayed, right? Yes or no? So I will write this text whichever is displayed on the screen and assume that my work is done. Test case is passing. So you will write the test case and everything, and at the end you will come and see that yes, this message is displayed or not. This is working fine. But assume that, just a moment. Assume that this test case is passing. You have placed another order. You are running the test case for the second time. I am repeating my statement. Please be very cautious. I am running the test case for second time. You have already written your XPath, right? So this time the message is displayed is incremental, right? It is displaying like 3. The number got updated here. See guys, previously it was 2, right? It got updated to 3. Now your XPath will fail. Yes or no? Your XPath will fail because here it will go and search for 2, 4, double 2, 3, 2. Let me complete this thing. Let me. I don't want this much big order number for confusion. So previously you saw that the text displayed is 32. So you have what is that? written in XPath. But this time, if you are running the same test case for the second time, what will happen? It will open Flipkart, it will launch the URL, it will enter the username and password, it will click, if you will click on buy button, you will make the payment, and this time you will see that it is showing another order ID. But rest of the things are same, right? This order ID is same, placed successfully same. Yes or no? So what I'm doing is, every time for every test case, if I want to run that 100 times, I can't go and update the test case for 100 times, because every time the order ID is changing. So let me do one thing. Uh, if I am seeing this placed successfully, that is also enough for me. I'm least bothered about the order ID. If the order is placed successfully or not, that is what I need to test. If I am seeing this message placed successfully, that alone is enough for me. So if I want to use these kind of things, there is another access function in your what is that Selenium, that is nothing but your contains function. So I have used the word called contains. So here, if the message is containing placed successfully, that is enough for me. Yes or no? Even though order ID is changing, for example, if I am placing another order, this time it will be 34. Obviously, if I am placing another order, it will be 35 this time. So every time placed successfully is a common message which I want to see. So there is something called contains function in your XPath, that is, using this you can write the XPath. So how to use this contains function? Just give the tag name. Okay. CO contains text. This time this is not is equals to, I repeat guys, let me write it again. I'll make you to write it for sure. So tag name, after that contains, this is a keyword, this is a kind of method, this is a kind of method where you are passing two attributes. One is the text function, comma, the message what you want to see. If I am seeing this placed successfully, that is enough for me, right? So similarly, I'll just go and write it here. And so this is the method I have given this thing, and after that I need to write that. That's it. Yes or no? So if I'm writing this XPath will work for all the orders, because it is not checking the order number. It is going and checking in this text. If I am seeing placed successfully, that is enough for me, because we are seeing placed successfully whenever the what is that the order is placed successfully. Okay, so that is one more function we just now discussed about relative XPath, and one of the access function is a text function, and again with the help of text function we can combine text function and contains function. Similarly, if I write the generic XPath, tag name contains text, comma, instead of text value I am writing partial text value. So that's the beauty of your, what is that, contains function. Hope everyone understood it. Just if yes, give me a thumbs up. I want thumbs up from everyone. If not, it is difficult for us. Ruhi, Imran, very good. Okay, superb. So now do one thing. Go, let me help you with this. Now I want you to write an XPath for this first thing. I am sharing the link. Let me do it fast. Okay, I'm sharing the link in the chat here. So first thing is, open this URL. Let me open this. Okay, I want you to write an XPath for this normal XPath using in nothing. Okay, just a class is equal to element or button using the text function, because if you could see, there are no attributes here. Class attribute anyhow you cannot use. You can make use of text function here. Okay, go and write an XPath for this and share it in the chat. Make it fast, guys. Understood the question? Everyone understood the question, right? Just give me a thumbs up if you understood the question. Very good. Chalo, let us do it fast. And next question will be, Okay, next question is on your screen for those who has completed the first question. Now you need to write an XPath for this web element. Okay, drop down disabled element pop-up alert using contains function and using the partial text call pop-up alert and complex. I repeat, try to write an XPath for this what is that element on your screen, but instead of using the single text function, this time you need to use the partial text. You should use contains and text, and the partial text I have highlighted in blue color. Yeah, go ahead guys, chalo, let's write it. Let us make it fast. Done everyone? Okay, very good, very good. Shelfie has written XPath. Okay, but next time, next question was use the contains and text function. Very good. Go ahead. So now you guys know how to perform a click action, and if you want to enter something. Now I'm telling you, hey, your test case is you need to click on the radio button, and you need to type India here. You know how to type India. Okay, and after that, this thing you cannot do. I'll tell you how to do that. So now at least you want to what is that, select this option 2. Is Akir, till now we never discussed this, right? How to select this value. This is not a click, this is not enter text, it is something kind of drop down list. So these things are known as drop down list. Okay, a drop down list. These things are known as check boxes. For a checkbox you can make use of click action. For a radio button you can make use of click action. For a text box you can make use of send keys. For a drop down list, this is a very important interview question. For a drop down list we need to make use of select class. I repeat, you cannot directly perform any action on the drop down list. If anyone is asking in an interview how to select a value from the drop down list, please tell them that you can make use of select class in order to select the value from the drop down list. If someone is asking how to enter text, no one will ask in interview, but still I'm telling you, you can make use of send keys. How to perform any, if you want to click on any button, you can make use of dot click method. So now let us try to understand how to, let me pull the latest code first. Yesterday I was using another laptop, right? Let me check if there are, okay, cool. I have, seems like I already pulled it. Let me quickly go here, minimize this, and today let us try to understand the Selenium automation, right? So we spoke about relative XPath, absolute XPath. I'll be sharing the notes. No need to worry. Okay. So here it is about select a class, or I can write drop down list. Okay. Super. So all these days you learned, right, how to what is that, launch the browser. It's very simple. So there is a interface with the name called WebDriver, and it is having all the methods. But if you want to implement it Chrome, you can make use of Chrome driver class. If you want to implement it Firefox, you can make use of Firefox class. That's what we did also in our initial days. So hold on, it's updating. Just a moment, guys. Okay, so mm, meanwhile let us go here. Okay, is this much. Oh, superb. So let me create the object for the I'm not creating any separate method for this. I'm just writing web driver is equals to oh my god, hold on, let me turn off Copilot. Web driver is equals to new Chrome driver. Okay, so these classes are written by someone. Let me import it. Okay, same applies here. This interface. Okay, few of the times it is not taking, so I forcefully writing it, not an issue. Okay, so you need to launch a browser driver dot get URL. How to launch the URL? So this is a practice page, right, which I need to launch. You know how to open a URL. There is a method called get, which will accept a parameter called string, and it is opening. Now you need to write a web element, right? So if it is clicking on this, you can directly write an, if you want to enter something, you'll write directly XPath for this. But okay, let me click on this. So if you could see, it will be having a tag of select. Okay, if you're forgetting, right, which is the class you need to use. So for drop down list, it will be having a unique tag called select. And what is the ID of this? ID. Okay, now let me write the XPath select at the rate of ID is equals to this thing. Okay, now I want to tell you one more thing here. Now that we are here, right? Now I know that drop down class is a unique thing. I can use contains function also here. Contains at the rate of ID along with text. Similarly, we can make use for this. But here instead of is equals to, I need to give comma. And if I give just a drop down class, I think that should be fine because that is unique, I believe. See, the reason why I'm telling is you can make use of contains function with attributes and values, just like you used your contains function with text, right? We can make use of attribute and value. So I have written like this. You can give a try. Okay, web element. This is a drop down list, right? I'm giving it as a name as drop down list. Let me write in shortcut. DDL element is equals to written a wrong XPath here. Okay, web element. Let me import that. Hmm. So how to find a web element? Driver dot find element by dot XPath. Okay, and this is the XPath. So successfully you have found your web element. But if you want, if it is a text box, you can use directly dot send keys. If it is a click key, you can perform click. But this is a drop down list. So for drop down list, what I'm telling, I'm writing the statement here also. For drop down list, make use of the select class. Okay, explicitly I'm writing, okay, select class. How to do that? How to create an object? Select. You know how to create an object for any class, right? Let me write it again. See how many times I'm writing. Class name obj is equals to new class name. If it is a parameterized thing, you can pass some parameters. Okay, okay, here I'm writing it as select sc is equals to new select. But assume that there are multiple drop down lists. For this is one drop down list, this is another drop down list. I'm just writing it ddl2. Now you should understand on which drop down list you need to perform the action, right? So for that reason you need to pass the web element on which you are performing the select actions. Okay, cool. So you need to import the select class again. Superb. So your select class object sc, I have given the name as sc, is now loaded with the drop down list web element. So assume that if there is another web element, so let me remove this. If there is another web element, create another object for drop down list. Okay, so I have created this. Okay, so now sc dot select by, see, these are the different ways in which you can select a value from the drop down list. So select by visible text, select by index, select by value, select by what is that, visible text. This is contains visible text, partial thing. So you don't make use of it. You can make use of index, value, or this thing. So now let us talk about index. So let me go here. If I am giving 0th index, it will select first option, second index, second option, third index, third option. That's it. If you go and check here for this, and this is a value, right? If you could see, visible text is nothing but the one what you are seeing on the UI. The same text is displayed in white color here. So option 1, option 2, option 3. If you could see here, it is having with capital O, capital O. But there is something called attribute and value pair here. You can select with this also. Value is equals to options 1. So if you want to select by value, you can use value. So I would recommend you to use every time visible text. That's easiest way, guys. Okay, but you just need to understand that there is another way in which you can select. I'll tell you the difference. Okay, no need to get afraid. Select by visible text, select by visible text. So what is the text that is displayed on the UI? Here it is capital O. See, capital O. I am selecting this capital O, option 2. So first thing is I am selecting by capital O. It is a string, right? I need to pass it like a string. Okay, let me run this code and let us see whether it is selecting second option or not. So we'll cover all the ways in which we can select. Let me run the code, and what should happen after launching that browser, it should select second option. Okay, it has launched the web browser and it should select option 2. So if you could see here, okay, obviously it has selected option 2. Now let me do one thing. Let me select by, let me wait for something, some time, thread dot sleep. Let me wait for 4 seconds or 5 seconds. It's good, right? Mm. Let me wait for 5 seconds. After that, I want to select the third option. So by index, this time let us select by index. So index value is 3. Index is number, right? So no need of quotation. So this time, oh my god, select by index it is. Mm. Select by index. So I'm waiting for 5 seconds, and after that I am selecting the third option. This time, see, there are different ways in which you can select. First way is by visible text, second way is by the index. Let me check it out. Let me do one thing. Let me close it, or else it will open multiple browsers, right? Control Z. After 5 seconds, let me close. How no? There is a method called driver.close. So I'm closing it. After 8 seconds, let me close it. Okay, now what should happen? First, it should launch the browser. So every time you'll not be using all these options. So you'll be using, you can use by select by visible text, or you can select by index. It is up to you to decide. Okay, let me run this code. Let me see. So now it should launch. It should select option 2. After waiting for 5 seconds, it should select the third index. Okay, see, it selected option 3. After 8 seconds, it should close the browser. That's it. See, that's it, guys. You are able to successfully select that. Now there is another way, right? You can select it. So by value, by value. So how to select by value? This is bit, see guys, in few of the cases it will not happen. The value would be different. In value they will be writing it as a kernel, but on the UI it will be displayed it as kernel district. On value, they'll be displaying on the web page it as Hyderabad, but on the text it will be like Hyderabad district. So for that reason, if you could see here, it is in small o, but this guy is in capital O. So let me, if I want to select by value, you should give the value only, not the text function, text value. So I'm giving only value. Let me go here and let me select this via value. So here, if you could see here, I'm using value. If I am using value and if I am giving capital O, this will fail. This will fail. Why? Because there is no value with capital O. Okay. All the text is with capital O. If you are using value, use this value only for that reason. And let me fail it and let me do that. So it will, let me do one thing. Let it select by value properly. Okay, and next time by mistake or wantedly what I'm doing is I am giving it as capital O, which is wrong. Okay, which is wrong. First time it should work, but second time it should fail. Let me see it. Okay, let me run this program. Let me see. So if someone is asking how to select a value from the drop down list, your answer is very simple. What you can tell them is, see, it has selected option 2 via index. Now we will be selecting option 3 by visible text. Very good. Now we will be selecting option 1 by value. Okay, option 1 by value after waiting for certain time. This time it should fail because you are selecting to trying to select by value, but that value is wrong. So if you are select, see, it is showing no such element exception error, cannot locate option 1. So it is telling I went to the web page and tried to search by value called option 1, capital O. This time it is capital O. So I went and I searched with capital O. There is no value which is starting with capital O. For that reason, I'm telling I cannot able to locate with the value called option 1. See the error message, how beautiful it is writing. It is telling cannot locate option with the value option 1. So that's the beauty of this thing. So make sure that if you are selecting value, give the proper value. Let me give it as capital O instead of capital O. Let me give it a small o and let me select the second thing. This time my code should run and it should not throw me an error. Okay, let me run this. Run the code. So this time it should not throw an error. So option 2, very good. By index, then we are selecting by value text. Next time I'll be selecting by value from option 1 after some time. Okay, yes, see, it is not failing this time. Okay, good. It would select another option. So the my code is successfully executed. So every time, let me add one more thing here. Every time it is opening in small window, right? Let me write the piece of code driver dot manage dot windows dot maximize. So I am writing one new line of code that is nothing but driver dot manage dot windows dot maximize. What this piece of code will do, this will just maximize the window. Previously, if you could see, it was only launching this size. Right now this time it should launch the full size window. Okay, let me run that as well for one last time, because this time it should maximize. I have written some extra line of code. See, this should maximize. Okay, super, it maximized, and also it started selecting the values from the drop down list. Okay, cool. I think everyone you understood that, right? So let me let the program get executed and let it close on its own. I'll not do anything. Super, it closed on its own. Okay, super, because I written driver dot close. So this is how you can write select the values from the drop down list. So today we try to understand how to select the values from the drop down list. Okay, now let me move on to you and superb. So hope you understood how to select a value from the drop down list. So there are different ways in which you can select a value from the drop down list. First thing is you need to make use of the select class. Okay, then you need to write an code, like you can select by id, you can select by value, or you can select by visible text. Okay, cool. That is on the select class. Just give me a thumbs up if you have understood. Everyone, I want thumbs up from everyone, guys. Very good. Very good. Very good. Superb. Now, let me put you the interview questions. Now, think about it, everyone, whatever you're doing, please keep that aside. Now, the question is there is a drop down list. Today, there will be 20 values in that. Tomorrow, there may be 29 values in that. Instead of that, let me tell you. Okay, now I am telling you to select the fourth index. What you will do? You will select by index as 4. If I am telling you to select the 20th index, you will select by 20th index. But if I am telling you to select every time the last but one value, think about it. This is a most commonly asked interview question. Out of the 2000 interviews which I have given, this was asked almost 60 times, 60 percentage of times. So there are today there is a chance that the drop down list may contain 20 values, but he's telling you to select the last but one value. So it should be 19 in this case. So tomorrow there may be 34, but you need to select only the 33rd index. Okay. Next time it will be 87, but you need to select only 86th index. So what is the logic? You can think about it. So this is the entry question. Think about it and tell me. So every time the question is something like this: you need to select the last but one value, and the values in the drop down list will change. So today if you are going and checking, hey Zakir, in this drop down list there are 20 values, let me select with the index called 19, my problem is solved. You are writing the code for that. But tomorrow the size got indexed, the size got increased in the drop down list, so it went to 34. If you are writing it as 19, your test case is failing. So you need to think about it. So what is the logic? You can think about it and tell me. You can unmute yourself and speak up. This is the interview question, guys. How we can do it? Just think about it logically. Anyone, please answer, guys. Please unmute yourself and try to answer. Even it can be wrong also. I'll help you out. Think about it. Anyone? Mahendra, Vinila, Ruhi, Shafi. It is the most commonly asked interview question. So think about it. I can do some mathematics here, right? So first what I can do is, instead of directly selecting by index, let me get the size of the values. Okay. Is there any where I can get all the options so that I can find out the size? Okay. SC dot all options. Okay. SC dot get options. Very good, yeah. There is one option where it will return me the list of web elements. Very good. I can make use of this. So this is returning the list. Superb. So if I get the size of that list, I will get to know how many elements are present in that. If I get to know how many elements are present in that, I can identify the number of elements minus one. That's it, right? Superb. We were able to crack the code, right? Guys, you are understanding? Superb. So what I will do is, instead of directly writing the index, first I will get all the values in the drop down list, and from that all the values I will get the size of the, what is that, size of the drop down list. So how many elements are there? Suppose there are x elements. X can be 20, x can be 34, x can be 87, x can be 9. Now I want to select by index, right? So the index, how I will write, int index is equals to x minus 1. That's it. Superb. So now I will write sc dot select by index, and this time I will give the index here. That's it. So every time, even though the number is changing, your code will handle it successfully. So first thing is, I will get all the values from the drop down list. Okay, I will find the size of that. I will minus that, because if there are 20, 20 minus 1. If there are 100, 100 minus 1. If there are 34, 34 minus 1. 87, 87 minus 1. So the code itself will handle that. So I know there is one thing called select by index, and you can see that. So the normal, how different we are learning is, in the normal teaching classes or whatever it is, they'll teach you only the topic. If he's asking you the question how to select the value every time, if the values in the drop down list are changing, you'll not be in a position to answer that. Now I will be considering each and every interview questions out of this 11 years of experience which I have taken, and which I have asked, and which I have helped for other students. I have the list of questions. So with that expertise, I'll be telling you each and every question that is getting asked in the interview. Okay. So with that note, I'll stop for today. So hope you enjoyed this session and you are learning it, and slowly we are making progress. Okay, very good. Now do me one favor, write whatever code we have written, and also write a code to select the last but one value. See, you should write a code in such a way that, what I'm telling is, create a dynamic. What is that? Let me tell you one thing. Create a method which will automatically select the last but one value. Okay, I repeat, create a method that is a task for you people. Try to close it now itself if you can, but I'll help you out. So this method, for example, you are writing your piece of code where you have written here, you have written a select drop down list. Okay, you have written code here. One second, guys. Write that piece of code wherein within this itself. Okay, this I have written in main method, right? So let me do one thing. Let me write it as select a class, create a method with the name called select a class, cut, copy, paste that code here. Okay, so this is handled. Now create another method called select common method. This is a common method, right? Common method to select last but one value. Okay, so this piece of code should contain the method where you will be creating a select class, getting all the options from that. There is a method called size. Okay, you can make use of size, and size minus one will be index. Write that piece of code here. Okay, cool. Chalo, try it out, guys. This is the interview question. I'll be teaching you in the interview only, because you should know the concept at the same time the interview questions that they will be asking. Hope you understood the concept first. So today we discussed about relative XPath, text function, contains function with text, contain functions with attribute and values, and also we discussed about select class, how to select by different ways. So if someone is asking how to select a value from the drop down list, you can say that we can make use of select class. Okay, cool, right? If you understood, give me a thumbs up, everyone. Very good. If not, ask me questions. I'm there to help you out. Let me stop the recording, and you guys try to